Yo, what's up guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Underdog Reacts on Like Views and I watched the movie The Flash. And what a movie this was. Holy shit, I'm just a sucker for multi-universal movies, just like Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, or Spider-Man with his Spider-Verse, I'm just a sucker for those kinds of movies and shows. And, well, I'm very glad that we've watched the whole DC universe from start to finish. Because, if you haven't watched the first three Batmans after Adam West, live action Batmans after Adam West, well, the two after Adam West, you probably didn't get this, from so it was a big surprise, a real big surprise, but we'll come back for that later. But first, let's just start with this movie, shall we? With an up-close shot of a clock that's almost 9:03. Then we get the up-close side shot of a speaker on a wall, probably in a classroom. Then up-close shot of feet, probably standing in a line, maybe in a cafeteria, I don't know. We look at two hands, fists, and this. Sorry, let's sneeze. Ron Livingston, I think I've heard of that name before. But we have two fists, and there's a kind of a card, key card, around here, hanging, and it says Barry Allen. So I assume, the fists are also from Barry. We then get bit of that shot. We see a guy getting his coffee and then turns around and walks away, and now Barry is the next one in line. But we're gonna leave that because if you don't know what's going to next, watch the movie yourself. I've seen The Flash, the show, I don't know if I've seen it fully or cut it off somewhere. I definitely cut off Supergirl. I finished Arrow, and I finished also DC Heroes of Tomorrow. That's a really good show. Really too bad that they cancelled that one. Yeah. Now we had Ezra Miller here as Barry Allen. He was not bad, but the way that he ran, what the fuck was that? I thought it looked weird when he was in super speed, but then when he lost his powers later on in the movie, and then he tried to run again, you could see how retarded he ran, But Jesus fucking Christ, he runs like Jimmy Pesto from Bob's Burgers, just a... Dude, what the fuck is that? What the fuck, man? Did you choose to run like that, or was that the director that said, hey, run like that? Because if he chose to run like that himself, oh my god. We had Alfred in this movie, which I actually didn't expect. Alfred called Barry, because Barry is now in the Justice League. But I didn't expect this to happen. I thought, okay, we get maybe a bit of the beginning, from how Barry got his powers, blah 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 blah. I don't know. No, he had his powers and shit. Okay, he's in the Justice League. Okay, so we're around there. Also, the weird ass pose that he makes every time before he starts running, dude. What the fuck is that? But I get it. This is a different kind of universe, yo. This is a different universe than the Flash that we all know and love, yo, from the show The Flash, with Grant Goose, Grant something, I think it was. He plays a good Barry Allen, you know. We also we saw Batman also in this movie, and you know, this was the which Batman was this? This was Ben Stiller. No, sorry, not Ben Stiller. The other one. Ben Affleck. Different kind of Ben. Ben Affleck. Oh my god. I don't know who Sue Mount is, but Jesus, you look like a hobbit. Ooh. Jeremy Irons. Oh, so that is Alfred. So that's him. I've always heard of Jeremy Irons, you know, but I couldn't place a face to it. Yes, I know it also through Family Guy, but you know, and I've also seen him obviously in other movies, but but now I get it. Yeah, this Flash went to a different point in time because he wanted to stop his mom being killed and his father going to jail, and that made him go to another timeline by accident, and he ended up in Tim Burton's timeline because we had Michael Keaton as Batman, and that is from the 1989 Batman. You know, it is the first Batman movie after, you know, Adam West was live action Batman. Okay, I don't count, you know, maybe there were some Indian versions or African versions of the Batman, but I don't count those. Yeah. Yeah. So we went to a different universe, and we know this universe. This is the universe, I think, with Jim Carrey, Riddler. We had Jack Nicholson as Joker is dead. Now he died in the first movie. And did we had also a Catwoman in this movie? Well, not in this one, but in this universe. Or was that with the different Batman? The George Clooney Batman, which, you know, the worst Batman with the nipples, you know, the 1994 Batman from Batman and Robin, you know, this one was then, yeah, because he ended up, you know, he did his thing, you know, turned back time or whatever, and then he did one last thing. He changed the shelves of the tomatoes from bottom shelf to top shelf, and now he ended up in the George Clooney Batman universe with George Clooney and Robin, you know, Batman and Robin, and also we had, I think, a Poison Ivy in this movie, maybe. Well, not in this movie, but in this universe. Definitely with Arnold Schwarzenegger as Dr. Freeze. So, yeah, we ended up somewhere totally different, and this is exactly what I mean with, you know, this makes me a sucker for these kinds of movies because I just like the multiverse, you know, especially, you know, if you have one character, you know, and you know this character, and then they go to a different universe, and then, you know, we see different things. Oh, this is actually this, and this, and this. You know, like Eric Stoltz is Marty McFly in the Michael Keaton universe. So, you know, and Kevin Bacon. No, because Michael J. Fox plays in Footloose, which we also see on channel, and Kevin Bacon plays now in Top Gun, which I haven't seen yet. So I don't know in which movie Tom Cruise now plays in that universe, but that's how it is there. Eric Stoltz is Marty McFly. We have Michael J. Fox in Footloose, and Kevin Bacon in Top Gun. So, and that's exactly what, I'm a sucker for these kind of universes. It's just a klein change, but it's just fun. And I really like that we had Michael Keaton as Batman for a short period. And we had at the end we had George Clooney coming in, and I know that we don't get Ezra Miller back as Flash, and I'm fine with that. But please bring back the Flash movie, because I'm so curious what he's gonna do now that he is in the George Clooney with nipple Batman universe. Oh, I'm so curious, actually. Yeah. We had also Michael Shannon back as General Zod. We did see him, but he was not one of the main characters in this movie. Also, we had Supergirl in this movie, only she was a brunette. Obviously different kind of universe, so different kind of Supergirl, but all the Supergirls that I know are blonde, so it was a different kind of change, short haired and brown haired. But like I said, I've seen the Supergirl show, but I cut it off somewhere. I've seen the from Markiplier, he did Try Not to Laugh. I don't know which one he did, which one it was. I mean, well, he didn't have colored hair there, so it was a bit one of the later one. I think it was one of those, and we saw behind the scenes, where Supergirl, and Barry, with his arms, swinging around, and that actually kind of ruined the Supergirl show for me, because when I saw that, I saw all the all the shittiness, the shitty acting in the movie, and that kind of ruined it for me, because I liked the show at first, but that just kind of ruined it for me. The acting in those shows aren't really tip top, it's not A-list movie, it's not a bad show, but the acting is just not really A-lister acting, in Supergirl and Flash. I did like Arrow, I really like Slade in this movie, Slade Wilson, played by that actor, really like that version of Slade. Deathstroke, that Deathstroke I really like, and like I said, DC's Heroes, DC's Legends of Tomorrow, that was just such a fun show, with time travel and going to, this time in history, a bit history, and we had John Constantine in that movie, and I really like that show, and I really like that version of John Constantine. Just really too bad that they cancelled it. Really too bad, Also, like fucking cliffhanger where White Canary was, I think it was White Canary, was kidnapped by aliens or something like that, Really too bad. Overall, I have to say, because I'm a sucker for this movie, I'm a bit biased, and even though Ezra Miller is maybe a shit person and he run very retarded, I still think I'll give this movie a 4 out of 5, or even a high 4 low 5, because I really like this movie, outside of the actor, I really like this movie. So, and especially because we brought back Michael Keaton and George Clooney Batmans, and we also saw we saw a different universe. We didn't go fully into it, but we saw a glimpse of a different universe where Nicolas Cage is Superman, which So looked pretty weird, but didn't look too bad. But I wouldn't say from, oh yes, I want now a movie with that Superman, where Nicolas Cage is Superman. I don't know. No, I'm fine with that, with just a glimpse of it, But, I want to know what's gonna happen next. So, I like this movie, and I know that a lot of people shit on this movie, but I like this movie. So I give this movie a 4 out of 5, or maybe even high 4, low 5. But, oh fuck it, definitely a 4.25. Yes, I can't choose between the two, so I give the in between a 4.25. I really like this movie. Go watch the movie yourself. Leave likes, recommend a good, good movie download in the comment section. Subscribe to the channel. Check out my second channel, The Key to Heart to Food Films. Every week content dan was as welkom. The virtual Underdog Reacts. Or to primarily music. Link down below in the description. And see you guys next time. Bye.